Hello everyone and welcome to our today's lesson. Our today's lesson is about planning the computer dictionary project. Let's get started our today's lesson. In this lesson we will study the steps for creating the project. And to create a new project or to create a website, you have to do two steps. Number one, preparing the suitable environment to create the site. The second step is executing the project. يعني عشان ننشئ موقع جديد على الانترنت لازم نقوم بخطوتين. الخطوة الأولى لازم إن احنا نجهز البيئة اللازمة لإنشاء الموقع، يعني نوفر المتطلبات اللازمة لإنشاء هذا الموقع. والخطوة الثانية إن احنا ننفذ الموقع ده بالفعل من خلال تصميم صفحاته وكتابة الأكواد زي ما هنشوف إن شاء الله في الخطوات اللي جاية. طبعا ده قدامنا الشكل اللي هو المقترح للموقع بتاعنا. الموقع بتاعنا هو موقع كمبيوتر ديكشنري، يعني خاص بعرض مصطلحات الكمبيوتر على our website visitors. وده الشكل المقترح. طبعا أي طالبة ممكن تقترح شكل مختلف عن ده. هنا بنحط بيكتشر أو لوجو الموقع، وهنا الصفحات اللي بيتضمنها الموقع بتاعنا. طبعا ده الشكل النهائي لكل الموقع بصفحاته. دي اللي هي الهوم بيج، ودي صفحة الاد، delete, edit, search and help. وطبعا قدامنا دي التصميمات المقترحة للموقع بتاعنا. كل صفحة من دول احنا هنصممها ان شاء الله في الدروس اللي جاية. واللي قدامنا ده بيمثل الداتابيز اللي خاصة بالموقع بتاعنا. وعشان الموقع بتاعنا متعلق بعرض مصطلحات او الكمبيوتر تيرمز، عشان كده الداتابيز بتاعته هتكون متضمن جواها التيرمز بتاعت الكمبيوتر. يعني اي مصطلحات خاصة بالكمبيوتر عايزين نستوضحها او نشرحها لاي حد بيزور موقعنا. زي مثلا فور اكزامبل كلمة بروسيسور، وهنا بنديله الديفينيشن بتاعه the processing unit، وهنا ترانسليشن بتاعته، ودي بيكتشر للبروسيسور. وبرضه بقيه المصطلحات الخاصه بالموقع بتاعنا اللي ممكن يحتاج اي يوزر او فيزيتور للموقع بتاعنا انه يشوفها، زي تيرم رام والمذر بورد والمونيتور والهارد ديسك. طبعا كل واحد منهم كاتبين الديفينيشن بتاعه والترانسليشن وحاطين البيكتشر من خلال ان احنا بنعمل سيرش على الانترنت وبنكتب البيانات دي جوه الداتابيز الخاصه بالموقع. طبعا احنا اللي هننشئ الداتابيز دي في خطوه من خطوات انشاء الموقع زي ما هنشوف في السلايد اللي جاي. Let's go over what we have studied in the first slide. You have to remember the steps for creating the project. Number one, preparing the suitable environment to create the site. The second step is executing the project. Let's get started with our the first step, which is preparing the suitable environment to create the site. What does this step mean? This step means to do the following. Number one, to install the required programs for creating the project. Number two, saving the files of the web pages of the project on the computer that will be a server. زي ما احنا عارفين كل ويب سايت بيكون متضمن من عدة صفحات، فاحنا لازم نحدد الاوبشن المتاح لينا لاختيار طريقة حفظ الملفات دي. And here we have three options. So the options of saving the web pages on the server computer, we have three options. Number one, using a host server to host the created site for money. The second option is using an internet site to host the created site for free. And the third option is using the personal computer to be a local host. So to prepare the suitable environment to create the site, we have to do the following. Number one, installing the required programs. Number two, saving the files of the web page. And here we have three options. Number one, using a host for money. Number two, using a host for free. Number three, using your personal computer as a local host. The third step here in the first stage for creating the website, preparing the personal computer to be a server using Apache server program to translate the written code by the PHP language. This means in the previous slide, we know that we will choose the option of local host, which means to make my computer, personal computer, to act as a server. So we have to make it as a server using the Apache server program. And this program will do two tasks. It will translate the written code by PHP language, and the second task, it will make or prepare our PC to act as a server. So we will go over again the procedures of creating a website. Number one, the first stage, preparing the suitable environment to create the site. And this stage includes 3 steps. Number one, installing the required programs. Number 2, saving the files of the web page. And here we have 3 options. Host the created site for money. Number 2, host the created site for free. Number 3, local host. And the third step here in the first stage for creating a website is preparing the personal computer to be the server. Okay. And here we have some notes. Number one, you have to notice that all the files of the website must be saved in the same folder. That includes subfolders, and each subfolder includes the same type of files, which means we will create the main folder for our website, and this main folder will include subfolders. And these subfolders include the same type of files, which means you will collect the image files in one subfolder, and the audio files in another subfolder, and the text files in subfolder, and finally the video files in subfolder, such that each subfolder includes the same type of files. The second note here, prepare your personal computer to be a server to host and examine the created site. And the best program for preparing the computer to be a local host is XAMPP program. Why? Because it's used to run the following programs. Number one, Apache server program. Why? To make the computer works as a server. Number two, MySQL. Why? We want to run this program to deal with databases. Let's move to the second stage for creating our website, which is called executing the project. Executing the project includes 4 steps. Number one, the stage of creating a database. As we saw previously, you have to prepare your database, which includes all data required to be displayed in our website. So in this stage, we will create a database. Why? To store data that will be input or displayed on the web pages using one of database management programs such as MySQL, Access, and so on. The second step is the stage of creating static web page. Static web page can be created using the HTML language, and this is a language used to design static web page, and we can write its codes using the prepared application, which is called Expression Web. The third step here in the second stage for creating a website is the stage of transforming the static web page to dynamic web page. And in this step, we will write or we will type the PHP code inside the HTML code. Why? To transform our static web page into dynamic, which means to be able to deal with database. عشان احنا زي ما احنا عارفين الموقع بتاعنا هيتعامل مع قواعد البيانات. عشان لما اليوزر يقدر يجي يعمل سيرش على اي معلومه ممكن يعمل له سيرش في الداتابيز ويعرضها له، او يعمل editing او deleting لاي داتا من الويب سايت ممكن يعملوا deleting من خلال الداتابيز، يعني بيعدل او بيمسح من قاعده البيانات نفسها. يبقى اذا لازم نحول الصفحه بتاعتنا لديناميك عشان تكون قادره تتعامل مع قاعده البيانات، سواء بالاضافه او بالحذف او بالتعديل او بالبحث. يبقى دي الخطوه الثالثه، ان احنا بنحول الصفحه بتاعتنا من صفحه ستاتيك لصفحه ديناميك. ازاي؟ من خلال كتابه بعض اكواد لغه البي اتش بي جوه اكواد ال HTML اللي كتبناها في الخطوه السابقه. The last step here is using one of the following browsers to display the web pages. For example, we have these examples for the web browsers, which are Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, or Firefox. Again, we will go over the second stage for creating a website. To execute the project, we have to do 4 steps. Number 1, the stage of creating a database. Number 2, the stage of creating static web page. Number 3, the stage of transforming the static web page to dynamic web page. And the last step is using one of the internet browsers to display the web pages. And now it's time to try to answer or to check our understanding to our today's lesson with these questions. Number 1, state whether each of the following sentences is true or false. Number 1, adding PHP codes inside HTML codes to modify some contents of the web page produce a dynamic web page. In this statement, we ask you, if we add the PHP code to the HTML code, it will transform our static web page into a dynamic web page. And this statement is true. Well, the second statement, adding PHP codes inside HTML codes to modify some contents of the web page produce a static web page. And of course, you know, this statement is false. Number 3, the stage of specifying the required tasks when creating a website is a routine, can be skipped and start creating the site directly, which means that if you want to create a website, it's not important to go through the stage of specifying the required tasks when creating a website. And of course, you know, this is wrong or false. Number 4, the requirements for creating, okay. We will move to another type of questions, and it's the question of choose the right answer. Number 1, the options of saving the web pages on the server computer are: number A, using a host server for money; B, using a host server for free; C, using the personal computer to be a local host. And of course, the 3 answers are right. Okay. The second sentence is, The best program for preparing the computer to be a local host is Apache, MySQL, PHP. Of course, you know the right answer is Apache. Well, okay. The third sentence is a database management program which is used to create tables and view query is Oracle, Access, MySQL. Of course, the three answers are right. Number 4, we create static web pages using HTML, Expression Web, or PHP. Well, the right answer is HTML and Expression Web, which means we write the HTML codes using the Expression Web application. That's all we have for our today's lesson. Thank you for your attention.